Hi, my name is Atas, and in this video I'm going to talk about how I killed every limiting belief that I had in 2025, reached all my goals in vision board in 2025, and I'm about to hit all my goals in 2026 as well. And I have no doubts at all that I'm going to reach it. You'll see. I'm going to share it from my own experience, that what has worked for me and what has worked for others as well, because I also have a mentorship where I help other people get into remote sales, make money online, and they also seen success from what I taught them about killing limiting beliefs. So I guarantee that this video is going to change your life if you're going to take action on it, if you're going to write notes, and if you're going to close other tabs and fully focus into this video. So let's just dive into it. So first of all, I want to tell you my story. So I would say 3 years and a half ago, I was really pessimistic about everything. I had really wrong beliefs about a lot of stuff because I was conditioned by my network of people, by my circle, which was my mom, dad, younger brothers, friends that didn't have money. I was conditioned by that, and I started believing that rich people are bad, that making money is going to make you bad, that only good people are working 9 to 5 jobs. And until like 19, I was conditioned like that. Until I was probably 19 or 20 and I was thinking like that. I would even say until 21. Now I'm 23. And I started noticing some stuff that when I think that I'm not going to have it, or when I think that it's not going to happen, not going to work, I saw that my action stopped, that I started procrastinating. This was like my first ways how I noticed that beliefs are super important. And eventually I found, mentors, started working with them. They started changing my beliefs. I started watching mindset videos, reading a lot of books. A lot of stuff happened from 21 and 22 years old when I was like that. When I was 21 and 22, a lot of things happened because I learned a lot of stuff, bought a lot of mentors, and then I started seeing results. I scaled out of nowhere to 10K a month because I believed myself. I believed every action I had, and I'm going to tell you how I did that. Now I'm consistently making 10,000 euros a month at 23. I started doing that at 22, and I'm about to reach 20,000 euros a month. And I'm going to tell you how I managed to do that. Because as I said, I was conditioned by my network. Until I was 21, 20, I was conditioned that money is hard to earn, and I had plenty of wrong beliefs. And because I thought of that, my actions were like, when I thought that I'm not going to make it, I was procrastinating because I believed that I'm not going to make it, and then my action just stopped. I didn't take any action. So in terms of my story, I'm going to be also completely honest with you. It was really difficult to find the right knowledge that is going to change my limiting beliefs. It is hard. Like you have to work with yourself. It is not easy, but when you master it, when you're going to actually understand, like after this video, how to remove limiting beliefs, if you're going to do that, eventually you'll see that removing limiting beliefs are easy. So I want to tell you why your thoughts create your lives. So your thoughts shape your reality. And most people don't realize how much mindset controls life. And negative thinking slowly destroys confidence. So you have to understand those 3 points. In general, as you said, your thoughts create your life. And your whole life starts in your mind. The way you think changes the way you act. And the way you act changes your future. And most people never stop to think about what they are feeding their brain every single day. So most people are not failing because they are stupid, because there are stupid people, delusional people that are making a lot of money, and I bet you have those people in your network, and they're failing. Most people are not failing because they are stupid, but because they're failing deep down because they stop believing in themselves. Simple. And you have to understand that. And once somebody loses belief in themselves, everything becomes harder. Everything in life becomes harder because you contradict yourself in some kind of way. If you're going to believe that, let's say for instance, if you're going to believe that sales is difficult, or let's say you're going to have a belief fish is bad for your health, but you're still going to eat it. Like it contradicts, you see? So your actions, your thinking should align with your actions, right? So if you're going to say that you are a sportsman, then obviously, and you're going to believe it, then obviously your action is going to be different and you're going to be waking up and going to the gym. So now I want to tell you how limiting beliefs start. So we were conditioned by school, parents, rejection, social media, creating limiting beliefs. This is how limiting beliefs start. Negative thoughts repeat for years, and eventually they feel true. And we also, as humans, we want to be correct because we have this ego that what we say to ourselves, we want to make it true because we can't be lying to ourselves or to others. If you say to someone that I'm not going to make it, you're going to have your ego and you want to prove what you're saying to others. So it is like self-sabotaging. So yeah, and when you are young, people tell you what is realistic. And they tell you that you can do and what you cannot do. They tell you, right? So from their past experience that they have probably had bad experience and they're telling it from your own experience. So this is why you shouldn't listen to any unsuccessful people, like in terms of goal achieving. For instance, my parents were talking that I'm not going to make it, that I'm delusional and so on, and now I'm making like what 2 or 3 times more than they are making, and I'm about to scale my business to 20K a month and more. I even had months where I made like 30 or 40,000 euros at 22 years of age. So yeah, and they didn't believe me until I made it happen. So as you see. And maybe, like also in terms of limiting beliefs, let's say you had a sales call or a call, you called someone trying to sell something and someone laughed. And this can create a limiting belief. And, maybe someone laughed at you. This is how limiting beliefs are also being created. Maybe somebody rejected you. Maybe you embarrassed yourself. This creates emotion, right? Maybe you failed at one time somewhere. And slowly your brain starts building an identity. You start saying, I'm awkward, I'm not confident, I'm not smart enough for this, I'm not built for success, and so on. And after repeating these thoughts for years and years, months and months, they stop feeling like thoughts, they start feeling like facts. Because like it's an ego thing, right? But most of the time they are not facts. They are just repeated beliefs that was created by your inner voice, inner self that is trying to keep you in comfort, because we as humans are created like that. We strive to stay in comfort because this is how we were conditioned ages ago, when it was like old age. We all as humans wanted to survive. And if you want to survive, obviously comfort is the best way, right? And now I also want to talk. So we've talked about my story. We've talked about why your thoughts create your life. And we've talked about how limiting belief starts. And now I want to talk about negative thoughts. And everybody gets negative thoughts. First, though, is automatic. Obviously, like it is what it is, But second thought is your choice. So let's say you are now out of nowhere think, yeah, like it's getting difficult. But now second thought is going to be maybe, counterattacking this thought that, look, it's not going to be difficult because I'm going to get help from there and there. And now you, let's say, counterattack that. And your second thought is positive, is supporting your goal, right? Because this belief that you're not going to make it, it's hard, it is not supporting your goal in life. But if you're going to counterattack first thought, and your second thought is going to be positive and is actually in alignment with your goal, then your action is going to be different and you're going to reach your goal. You see, like if it's going to be aligned with your goal, if it's going to support your goal. And negative thoughts are normal. Everybody has them. Even the most successful people has them. But you cannot fully control the first thought because fear appears, doubt appears, insecurity appears, which is normal. But the second thought matters, as he said. If your brain says, I can't do this, you need to answer, yes, I can, counterattack that. If your brain says, I'm going to fail, you answer, I'll figure it out. And do not let negative thoughts sit in your brain all day because it's bad. Replace them quickly. And that is a skill. I would probably say the biggest skill that I needed to learn in order to start making decent amount of money online. Obviously, I'm still small. My goal is to make 100,000 euros a month and more, and I have no doubt that I will reach it eventually. Like literally, no doubt. I'm going to make it happen. And what you need to do is have this skill, like get the skill of replacing bad beliefs quickly. Do not let negative thoughts sit in your brain all day. Like counterattack them by opposite stuff. And even like sometimes you're going to have a fear, yeah, I'm bad at making content or something like that. Like others are going to laugh. When in reality, sometimes it's not even true, right? You can counterattack that by giving a right reason. Let's say, I need to make an example. Let's say this can be you wanting to create content, but you believe that it's not going to, like others are going to laugh at it. But if you're going to give real reasons why others are not going to laugh at it, you will do it, right? So sometimes you just need to give real reasons why it is bullshit, why it is just a fear. And you're going to find it. Like you just need to find for a reason, and then your action is going to change because you're going to counterattack that first negative thought. And successful people think differently. I'm going to tell you why. So successful people, first of all, also like we all should try to think like successful people, act like successful people, because there are people that was worthy of their goals, and because of that they have achieved their goals. So we need to become a person that is worthy of your goals instead of just chasing the goal. We need to become a person that is worthy of the goal. So maybe a person that wakes up early, doesn't have limiting beliefs, and so on. So successful people, first of all, protect their mindset. They expect good things to happen. They truly expect that. And you do that by counter-attacking those first bad thoughts, by giving real reasons why it is a bullshit, right? So successful people expect good things. They refuse weak thinking. They refuse weak people around them that have shitty thinking. Successful people, they don't watch news like majority of them because they don't want negative thoughts. They only see positive things, and because they see it all day, do you think they're not going to believe in the evening that they're going to film 20 reels and that they're going to, let's say, blow up? No, of course they're going to believe that, right? So it's simple. And confident people are not confident by accident. They train their mindset. They believe things will work out, and they believe they can improve. They believe they can solve problems. They believe it. And when you believe, your actions is sharper. And when your actions is sharper, your results are different. So they believe that they are capable of everything. You see this Kanye West thinking, like I love his confidence because if he's so confident and his action is different, right? So he's because he's confident in the mission, he's going to be more sharp in terms of work and he will achieve it eventually. And most people spend all day mentally attacking themselves. Successful people do not do that. Successful people, they protect their mind. They understand that weak thinking creates weak actions. And you can even test it yourself, like if you want, and you'll see that everything I say is true. So just spend one day watching news or listening to bad music and watching, films that are negative, and other days spend all day without news, listening to positive music, nice music, watching good films, inspirational films, listening before sleep or in the morning, or both times, affirmations, as and just do that, and you'll see huge difference. Like I promise you. So you should remove that. You should remove news. You should remove all that stuff. You should remove everything that is negative, even your friends that are negative. You should get rid of them, like if needed. Like it like it's not like if you want to reach your goals, sometimes you have to decline some things, remove some things out of your life to get something new, to get something what you never had. And you become what you consume. So social media affects your mindset. Negative content changes your personality. Your brain adapts to what you watch daily. Like if you are going to read hate comments, you're going to see others hating others, and you're going to probably think when you're going to do something differently, you're going to think that others are also going to hate you. But let's say you wake up next day and you don't see any hate comments. You do that for 1 year, you don't see any hate comments. You're going to do different actions. You're not going to think that someone is going to hate you and so on if you only see positive things. And your brain becomes whatever you feed it. So if you spend 5 hours every day watching negative content, eventually you become more negative. And if you constantly watch angry people online, eventually you become more angry. And if you constantly watch drama and fear, eventually your brain starts living in fear. We don't want that. And most social media content today is negative because negativity gets attention. It's making more money to those content creations, and fear sells, drama sells, anger sells. It's not good. You should get rid of that. And most people wake up every morning and instantly feed their brain with garbage content. And how you can expect to win in life, how you can expect to succeed, reach your goals, like you can't. Well, you technically can, but it's going to be difficult, more difficult. And your subconscious mind records everything. Like this is also another really interesting thing that I also noticed. I read a lot of books, had a lot of mentors, and it is literally true. So music, videos, and conversation affect your brain. Like even if you think it doesn't affect you, it does. And inputs create outputs as well. So your subconscious mind is always listening. Everything enters your brain, the music, the conversations, the content, the energy. Like even when you're about to fall asleep and you're listening to something negative, it is going inside your head. And people think it's just entertainment, but your brain does not see it in that way. Your brain records patterns. Like if your inputs are negative every single day, your outputs will also become negative. That's why protecting your mind matters so much. And even I can tell you a story. I met really successful people in the last weekend, and one day with them, being around them in nature, only positive thoughts for 48 hours, I got back to my home. I finished all the work. I did everything really sharp. I called my mom, I bought her a present. Like I was just so happy, so grateful. Prayed. I was extremely grateful, and I felt that being around positive people made me believe in myself even more. This is what I needed to be more sharper in terms of action. So it all comes down to cutting off negativity. And some people spread negative energy constantly, and you have those people in your network, I believe. We all have, actually. Obviously not all, but there are people that got rid of them or are spending less time. But you need to understand that some people are spreading negative energy constantly, and you need to protect your environment. Negative people influence your mindset, and not everybody deserves your energy, your access to your energy. Not everyone deserves that. And some people complain every day. Like, you shouldn't be spending time with them. Some people always focus on problems. Like, you'll see those people. Maybe you are someone that focus on problems. Like, some people attack ambition. If you stay around negativity long enough, if you spend time around negative people long enough, it starts becoming normal. Like, if you spend a lot of time with them. And that is why environment matters a lot. The people around you slowly shape you, your thinking. Energy spreads, like, they can almost like cough on you. Like, even in places like, I don't know, other places where you have those NPC people, they can put a disease on you, like by coughing, by spreading the negativity. And the people around you, like, as you said, slowly shape your thinking. And energy, like, it spreads. Energy is a real thing, and mindset spreads, habits spread. And you need to spend more time around people who believe bigger. And I want to tell you a quick story how I lost everything I had in life. I would say 2 years ago, something around that, I lost everything I had. I had bought the car I wanted. It was a BMW, and I have bought it, and I only had it for 2 months because I thought that I was constantly thinking that, what if my business is going to fail? I was constantly thinking about it. I was afraid that I'm going to sell the car and that I will go back to my parents, to other people that didn't believe me, and I'm going to admit, yeah, I failed. I was constantly thinking about that in my mind, almost visualizing that, right? And guess what happened? I lost every single thing. I lost my business. I lost money. I sold the car. I invested into other things and lost everything. And at 21, I think I was, or 22, I was completely broke. I lost everything. I even stopped renting a house. I needed to come back to my parents, and I was a failure. This happened because I was literally thinking about the problems. I was literally thinking about that. I was always focusing on problems. And now I changed one thing. I stopped focusing on problems. Like, now I bought the car I wanted, that I dreamt about. BMW 7 Series. I love this car, and I have it for 9 months. And I'm about to buy a better one because I stopped focusing on problems. I counterattacked all my first thoughts and made every single limiting belief into a belief that supports my goal. And I did that. Boom, success. This is how you reach success. It's simple, but it's not easy. You have to, first of all, win a battle every single day, night, morning with yourself. You have to change those limiting beliefs. Otherwise, you won't make it. And I'm giving you a lot of value by telling you how to do that. And environment changes identity. Confident people make others confident. That's a fact. What you need in order to succeed in life. Confidence. How do you get confidence? People. You surround yourself with other confident people. How you do that? First of all, you get rid of people that are not confident, that doesn't have dreams. And then you'll find ways to find confident people around you. But first you have to believe that you will find them. Also, it all comes down to the belief. Then better environment create better thinking. How to do that? Also reverse engineer that goal. Like, what do you need to have a better environment, to create better thinking, to have better thinking? Reverse engineer like those goals, like what you need to have to have a better environment. Probably have better, more confident people around you. How do you do that? You remove bad people from your life, and you just goal reverse engineer. And beliefs also spreads between people. So sometimes I'm going to be repetitive, but it's going to be for your own, it is going to be beneficial for you, because when I'm going to be repetitive, the information is going to be stored better in your head. So have you ever noticed how some people completely change after entering a better environment? And that is not random. When you spend time around disciplined people, you become more disciplined. When you spend time around ambitious people, you become more ambitious and you think bigger. You're becoming open-minded. And when you spend time around confident people, your confidence grows too. And this is why your environment is so powerful. And even when you go outside your country, outside that box, your small city, if you live in a small city, maybe you live in a big city, but if you exit that box, you meet other people, you see that the world is bigger, that there's more opportunities, and you subconsciously think that, wait, so if there's a huge world, then it probably means that there's a lot of opportunities, that it's real, other people are successful, driving good cars, all that stuff. Like, it's just like subconsciously, it's just working. Like, so sometimes a really good idea is to go out of your city if you never visited other cities, countries, and so on. And why affirmations before sleep is a very good thing. And I'm going to drink some water, so I'm going to be back soon. So yeah, I wanted to talk about affirmations. And affirmations before sleep, why it is good? Because your brain is more open before sleep. Like, you notice that, like, the mind is just open-minded, becomes more open-minded. You'll get ambitious in the evening, but in the morning you'll lose your motivation. It happened to every one of us. And positive repetition changes identity slowly. So most people negatively program themselves daily, and we don't want that. And most people fall asleep scrolling social media, drama, noise, negativity, fear. But your brain is very open before sleep, right? So what you hear repeatedly starts becoming part of your identity. So this is why affirmations can definitely help. And I know it sounds generic, a lot of people are doing that, but it actually helps. And not because magic happens overnight, but because repetition changed the brain subconsciously. And simple things like, I believe in myself. Like, if you hear it 1,000 times before sleep, let's say you're in the morning, you're going to believe yourself. And let's say, I am becoming stronger, I follow through, I believe good things are coming. And if you repeat positive thoughts for long enough time, your brain slowly accepts them because you subconsciously hear them. So this is what you could also start doing. So just living in more positivity. This is going to be the key for it. And what I also wanted to mention, I need to remember it. 1 second. Yeah, so what I wanted to say as well is that, like, this video has probably changed a lot of your limiting beliefs, negative beliefs. So obviously what you need to first of all do is become more open-minded to everything. You need to become more open to changing new beliefs, to believing just accepting new information. Older people, majority of them, it's harder for them to change the beliefs. But when you're younger, it is easier to program yourself. This is why in schools, like, parents are really good at programming those people. I mean, kids are really good at taking new information, but eventually, like, when you grow older, like, it's just getting harder to accept new information. So if you're young, even if you're older, like still try to accept new information. And then because you accept new information, you're going to take different action. And when you take different action, you're going to have different results. And because of different results, you're going to have a feedback loop. So you should just like at least try to admit, to accept what I taught you, accept it, try it, and then you're going to have a feedback loop. And maybe you'll see in the next month that you're going to get closer to your goals, or this month, and then you're getting a feedback loop, and then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to admit, I'm going to accept what Atas has taught me. So it's going to be a cycle basically, and this is what I'm going to do every day, like just literally changing my beliefs, removing limiting beliefs. Because of that, my action change, my results are different and different, getting different, and because of that, I'm getting a feedback loop. So if I want a better goal, I need to change my beliefs, I need to add some new beliefs, and so on. So every day is a battle with beliefs basically, like in my life. But as you see, it is, I have, like, even I'm young, I have achieved my goals, so it works. So yeah, like if you need, feel free to rewatch this video, subscribe for more videos like that. If you have enjoyed this video, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, bye.